Hey guys, Bios Ramos here. Today I'm bringing you guys another video about franchise tagging, and basically I'm going to explain how it works and explain what could possibly happen for the Dolphins, even though I don't see them actually franchise tagging anybody.
Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team.
So for those of you who do not know, franchise tagging, or also there's two types of tags. There's franchise tag and transition tag. Franchise tag means you tag them for 1 year, and it's pretty much, it gets like a range of like, I believe it's the top 5 salaries in that position. So for example, Le'Veon Bell, when he got tagged, he got tagged 2 years in a row, and I believe the pay for him was about 11 million, or that's what it's speculated. Yeah, so this is the numbers based off of 2018. He got 11 million, 866 million dollars, right? And then for quarterbacks it's like 23 million, wide receiver 15, tight end 9 million, offensive lineman 15, defensive end 17, defensive tackle 13, linebacker 14, cornerback 14. Almost, it's 2,500 away from 15 million. And then safety is 11 million, and then kicker punter is 4, almost 5 million. So when you're looking at that, I mean, it's pretty crazy, the numbers wise, how much they're getting paid. But pretty much what it does is, let's say you have a player that's could be a free agent. So this happened 2 years in a row to Le'Veon Bell. This happened last year, I think, to DeMarcus Lawrence, and it might happen to again this year, which is pretty sad after a great season that he had. But so this is how it works. You're part of the team for another year. It's pretty much, this is mainly meant for like players who aren't, the greatest at their positions, because majority of those times those guys will automatically get like an extension. But in the case of them having a breakout year right before their contract year, like on their contract year when the year's over, and then they can become a free agent, a lot of this happens. They get franchise tagged or transition tagged. Like I said earlier, there's two types of tags. There's franchise tag, which is, it gives the sum of the 5 greatest salaries of that certain position of that player, and then it puts it together and gives them a base salary off of that, right? And then when it comes to transition tag, I'm not sure how the money works for that, but what definitely does happen is a lot of times it gives another team a chance to intervene and try to get that player, right? So this happened in 15 with Charles Clay, and we transition tagged him, and then he ended up signing to the Bills for just a little bit more. That's the last one I really recall of us. And then we franchise tagged Jarvis Landry last year, but then we eventually traded him to the Browns, where he was able to get a contract extension, just a lot of money. Unfortunately, Dolphins couldn't afford him, which sucked, but it happens. That's the league for us. As far as it comes with the Dolphins franchise tagging anyone, I really don't see it, just because we didn't have anyone crazy breakout this season, right? This season was pretty mediocre at best, and you didn't have anyone special come out of nowhere and be like, oh my god, like, we can't let this guy walk away. A lot of the players that did step up, either on contract for another year, like for example Xavier Howard, and then also like Albert Wilson before he got injured. So those are some things to consider. This is mainly for when teams absolutely cannot lose a guy in free agency. So like what the Cowboys did last year with DeMarcus Lawrence, and he might be tagged again. So this is a list of some guys who are most likely going to be franchise tagged or transition tagged, but most likely franchise tagged. So top of the list, DeMarcus Lawrence. Dee Ford out of Kansas City. He had a great year, but the years before he wasn't nothing too crazy. So this is what I was saying earlier about, you have a breakout year on your contract year, and then you get franchise tagged. Sucks, but then you get another year to prove it. And if you do that, then most likely you'll be out of it, and you'll get into free agency, and you can probably sign with somewhere else that will give you big money. That's what half of these players are looking for. Jadeveon Clowney, Frank Clark, Trent Brown, Landon Collins, Trey Flowers, Grady Jarrett, and Stephen Gutowski out of the Patriots. So that's what ESPN has here on the list. I kind of believe that list because it's a lot of players there that, you know, it makes sense of them being franchise tagged. A lot of times teams do this just because they saw great production out of you and they want to see it again, but they're not too sure if you can continue and compete at that same level. So that's pretty much what it is. Just a crash course on it. And it kind of sucks for the players if you think about it. A team can rescind a franchise tag. They did it to Josh Norman in 2016 or whatever, the year after he had his great season with the Panthers, and then they rescinded his tag, and then he ended up signing with the Washington Redskins. So there you have it. So, like I mentioned earlier, Le'Veon Bell is one of the players that has gotten the consecutive tags, even though he didn't play out his last one, right? The whole deal this whole season of him sitting out. But other players, it's becoming quite a trend. Kirk Cousins with the Washington Redskins played 2 years under the franchise tag. Tremaine Johnson did it with the Rams, and Le'Veon Bell didn't do the second season, but he did it with the Steelers. And honestly, it might be DeMarcus Lawrence to do it again soon. And before that, the only other time it was Phil Dawson and in the Browns, and then when Anthony Spencer was in the Cowboys, the linebacker. So yeah, it's a real crazy time. They only have 2 weeks to make an offer for the franchise tag or anything like that. So Tuesday, February 19th until March 5th, that's a 2-week window, and anything else after that will become free agency. So Dolphins, honestly, I don't see anyone from the Dolphins being franchise tagged. Not that they're not worthy of it or anything like that. It's just Dolphins are, going in a different direction. They don't want to be chasing after guys right now. They want to be just letting guys come in. And there's a big difference between letting guys in and chasing guys. If you're chasing guys, it's you're doing the wrong thing. You gotta have the people come to you. You gotta have the people wanting to be in your system, be in your building, be working hard for you day in, day out. That's what the Dolphins need. That's what they need to change. That's it. I can stay here rambling all day, but I'd rather not. Just wanted to give you guys a quick update what's happening right now in the NFL, and then I believe the following Wednesday after the franchise tag transition tag deadline is, will begin free agency. So a lot of things coming up soon, a lot of news.
Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team.